My name is Kiara Cristina Ventura. I'm a curator from the Bronx. And I recently curated the Living Room Kitchen, which is a 11 artist show showcasing works that are speaking about family and home, um, and basically covering weight that the living room and kitchen holds in everyone's memories in their homes. Um, so yeah, it's a really, really cozy show, and this program was actually supposed to be happening in the gallery, but I still wanted to have the programs poppin', so we're doing it virtually. And it also kind of goes with the theme of the show of home, right? We're like all in our homes right now.
My
Um,
kitchen. In my kitchen.
you in the kitchen, I'm in the living room, you know. so um, so yeah, it kind of makes sense to do these programs at our homes, and we're going to be talking about family and home. So yeah, so I'm going to give the floor to John to introduce himself. Who are you, John? What do you do?
What's up, everybody? I'm John Rivas. One of the artists in the show. I'm grateful to be in the show, so thank you, Kiara. And yeah, 23. I was born and raised in Newark, New Jersey. Both parents are Salvadoran immigrants, so yeah, that's me.
Nice. And then what mediums do you work with?
I work with everything, to be honest. I work with oil, acrylic, pastel, Crayola. I started fucking around with chalk too. I use everything. And I think it's important because it comes like my foundation working. Like it started from me not having a lot. That perspective, like picking up scraps or like using like wood or like metals, putting it together. Using anything I could use. So now I take advantage of anything I could have. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like yeah, it's cool, just oil, but like how do you bulk up the palette a little bit more?
Hmm. I
So
also
yeah, I use any.
yeah, I also want to bring it back to like when you first started like making these sculptures slash like paintings, and like I remember you telling me like, you would go into your family's garage and like grab shit and like grab things from the house. How did that process start of like you actually using items from like your family's house?
I think it started at the same time where it was just like, this is what I want to paint about. So I feel like as an artist, you start off just doing something, and then that's you gradually, little by little, practicing that practice. You find yourself in a way. You feel me? So like obviously, like I started off just like copying shit from online, little by little, and then painting, like copying things from the internet and just painting that. So like I had to build a technique. And there's during time I went to art school, it was just like a lot of things they were teaching us were like about like Renaissance artists, European artists. And it was cool, but it was just like how do like this the only thing I could connect with this is probably the painting perspective. Like everything else is like that's not me, you know what I'm saying? Like how do I make something that speaks about me? And then that's my grandmother, she came from El Salvador, and it's just like her. I would always have the Salvadoran customs in my home, but her just being here, bro, like she boosted that up, because she was straight from over there. So like, bro, the week I was eating like beans straight, dog. Like I was eating like the morning, like the lunch, dinner. It was like I don't know we can make so many bean meals. So just doing that, like her just teaching, and during that point I started to do art, and I feel like me being an artist was always supported because it was like it's not something a way of living. Like how do you survive with being an artist? You know what I'm saying? So like people just see it as like a hobby. So it was during the point where I was really into this. I was in school, you know what I'm saying? I was really into this, and like I was doing these weird like figures but with no faces, just straight like no features and stuff like that. And like, she came up to me and she was like, "Yo, like where the eyes at, where the nose at, where the mouth's at." And it was during the same time, like we'll have these conversations on the table while we're eating. It'll be like just like random funny shit or like something serious. But like it was one point like we were sitting down talking, and I remember it was like during the time my cousin's girl had a baby, and she was like, "Yo, you guys are lucky you guys have hospitals like to give birth to your kids in." And like I was like, "What are you talking about?" And she was like, "I gave birth to your father on a rock," you know what I'm saying? So that image, bro, that she just struck me right there. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I asked him like, "Yo, is this serious?" And he was like, "Yeah, like I was literally born on a rock." So just imagine that image of like a woman giving birth to a kid on a rock. I was like, nah, there's so much to my family. Like, so these conversations, like, that's what's so important. These conversations you have at the table, you know, like when you really with family, bro, like, put your phones down, like, actually sit down and eat. You know what I'm saying? Have these conversations. You could learn so much, bro. I think most of my ideas I get come from these conversations I have with my family, or even people I know, like in my hometown, stuff like that. So like, it's always, I feel like the way my work is just like a daily diary of my life, you know. Like, so, you know how people write or people like sing, speak out the experience. And for me, it's visual. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what I have to do. So like, you know, so everything that I paint, like either I know from my experiences or my family experience. So it's always like, yeah, I think it's very important.
Yeah, I think it's, yeah, and I'm also just imagining you like doing like your bachelor's, and like I think a lot of creatives of color who go to, you know, traditional universities, like we go into these spaces and then we see what they're teaching us, and then and it's usually from like a Western point of view, and we're just like, yo, but I can't really bring this home and see that story being told in my house or how I grew up. And you're like in this in between of like, oh, I'm trying to connect what I'm learning in school to like the life that I've been living and like my family and my home. So I think it's like I really commend you on like the young John being out here being like, oh well, I can take these materials that I'm super that are built into my memories and that are built into like my family's history as a medium. Because like in art school, you know, you learn about like traditional mediums, like here's a clay class and here's a painting class, and you learn how to do these different mediums. But like the mediums that we know the most are the ones that we grew up with. Like I think of a lot of like Black women artists that are incorporating like Kanekalon braids in their work, and a lot like I had these conversations and they'll be like, yo, I've been learning how to braid since I was little. This is a medium that I know like really, really well. So I think that's like super important to like keep those mediums that we know super well, even though they're unconventional, like in our work, especially as creatives of color.
Yeah, of course. And I think it's also just like, I mean, for me personally, like, it gives me different perspective of how I see things, you know. So now when I wake up now, it's just like, I always try to focus on the little things, you know. Sometimes I think clouded and like with so much, like, but yo, there's so much things right in front of you. Like I forgot I was doing this one painting. For some reason, I'm like, yo, I need to add something to it. So in the kitchen, like my mom has the sasson packages.
Yeah.
I was like, I started just fucking around. I was like, oh, this color's so crazy, but it's like, I don't know. For me, it's just weird. Like, think about the smallest things. You're like, my grandma cooking with this, like my mom cooking with this, like seeing this every single day. And now I'm like, nah, I can use that something. You know what I'm saying? So it's important.
Yeah. Now I'm thinking of the color like the sasson, the Goya sasson packet has. It's like an orangey like kind of color. It makes the chicken orange.
Yeah.
So yeah, going off of like family, like how would you describe like your home, like growing up? Like how would you describe like your family, how you interact with them, how they interact? Like what's a regular like family dinner looking like? Like what are the vibes in the house?
The house. I mean, my house. To be honest, my house is small as hell. So got
Mm,
2 rooms. Yeah, I still share a room with my little brother. So it's always been like mad close. And I always grew up with like family always being really important. So yeah, it's very chill. You know, like my mom always made a rule where it's like no phones on the table while we're eating, you know, or also like no one gets up to like the last person finishes, you know. So just like family was always there, you know. But I think as you get older, it's like you start to realize that like I like now I got my problems, like my brother got his problems, you know, like my mom got her problems, but I got his problems. But at the end of the day, it's like when we all together, it's like nah, it's all about us, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's I've been grateful just to have everybody in my life, you know.
yeah.
So I've been very grateful. And just like, I don't know, one thing I started to notice too is just a color palette in my home, you know, like reflecting it back to my work and how like these colors in my home is like very, very bright and like just brown tones, you know, very, so it's like that too. So something, yeah.
Like the different color palettes that you see in the house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, I think it's just important, like you said, about just like my upbringings, you know, it's like, I think certain things that happen in your life, it just like it shapes you the person you are. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you can never like, yo, if I went through this, like never like try to forget about it, because like all the good, all the bads make you the person you are today. You know, so that's definitely something like my upbringing has come about in my work. You know, it's like That's how I come from that. I come from that, not from a lot, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I have to work, bro, you know what I'm saying? Like, when I was young, I had to start working to make money in that house, you know what I'm saying? I had to, like, do whatever I have to do, either if it was, like, good money, if it was bad money, just finding ways to help back at home, you know? And it
Yeah.
was, even with, like, materials in art school, it was like, yo, I had to hustle, you know?
Mhm.
But it was just that mentality now. I had to, like, flip it into my work, you know, because I think now just investing in yourself is really important, you know? Because if I wouldn't, like, make the decision to be like, yo, I'm gonna stop working for somebody and start doing my art full time, I don't think I'll be the artist I am today. You know what I'm saying? So like now that's different mentality has to be switched into like my craft now. You know?
Yeah. So I want to talk about that too. Like I meet a lot of artists, you know. I'm a curator out here, and like I just know, like, even from the day that I met you, oh my gosh, what was it, 2015
Like,
or some shit?
I
When
was old.
the pop-up days, you always had like a hustle, like mentality of like we know when John is in his like painting zone, you know, like you hop off of Instagram, like you make sure like you're in this zone where you're like staying focused and you're like focusing on what you need to do, you know. So my question is like, first, like what is your process like? I know like taking glimpses at or doing studio visits with you, you know, we see your freaking family photos like all over the floor and you're like using them as reference.
Yeah.
So yeah, like what's your process like, and like yeah, like how do you stay focused, like yeah.
I mean, like, I don't know, man. Like art has really changed my life. So I take it very serious. You know, like it's changed my life completely. You know, so it's like I'm grateful to be doing the things I'm doing now. You know, like have the things I have now because of my work. You know, so I take it very, very seriously. And it's like I don't know, like with the whole Instagram thing, like there was a point where I caught myself being distracted. You know, just looking at other people's work and like I wasn't really focused and shit like that. So it was just like, bro, like I'm not making work for Instagram. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm making work for me, you know? So it's like, yeah, like it's cool for people to see my work, but it's like sometimes like I don't know, like people just be forgetting like, yo, like the likes, blah, blah, this and that. And it's like, nah, bro, like if you're really making work, you're making work for work, you know what I'm saying? Like artists back then didn't have this shit, you know what I'm saying? And they still made it successful, but they worked, you know what I'm saying? They worked, you know, they hustled, they do have to do. And the main first thing is just focusing on the work, you know? If you really focus on the work, bro, like that shit will just gradually come to you little by little by little, like by little, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, this is a craft, like this is some, like a life you could be doing for the rest of your life, you know? Like there's painters who are 90 years old, but it's like, they do it every day because they have to do it. It's not because, oh, I want this, I want that. You know, it's like, cause I really have to do it.
Yeah.
So that off the back just keeps me focused. Just being grateful. Like I said, just being grateful. You know, just being
Hmm.
grateful for having the things I have, and it's like now, like I have to work. And then even with like, I get like when I get really closed down, that's when like I work hard, but that's where I'm mostly like I try to be home, bro, because like my main inspiration is home. You know, so it's like even now with this whole thing, like you know, with the virus going on, stuff like that, it's like I literally moved all my shit from my studio up in Harlem and moved everything here, bro. Like having a canvas hanging right here in the back, you know, it's like I have so much shit in here. It's like now's the time I'm like, yo, I need to get it going, you know, like
Hmm.
so it's
Well, that's good. At least like yeah, you're right in the house, you know,
yeah.
painted
And
up
then it's like
kitchen.
and you guys can have like more different photos I haven't looked at too. So like going through those and like seeing what I could do, asking more questions now, like you know, calling people up, you know, making sure everyone's good. But also like I mean that's my inspiration. Like I said, my daily life is my life, you know. Like
Mm.
there's certain like conversations I have with people while I'm working and like they say something and boom, like I write it down. So it's like it's important just to be a human, you know. I feel like
Nice. And yeah, like that's my next and last question is what are you where do you see your works heading right now? Like what are some new things that you might be experimenting with or that you want to experiment with and add into your work? Um and yeah, where you see yourself going.
I mean
I know we be talking about the Guggenheim, you know.
I think right now it's just I'm gonna take a break for a little bit, you know.
Mhm.
I've been working too hard, so
Exactly.
spending more time with like my girl, my brother, my parents and stuff like that. So like just taking a break and like know what's important in life too, you know, just besides the art and stuff like that. So just hanging out with them. But yeah, I'm gonna be working a lot more bigger. I'm gonna be doing some sculptures too. But I don't know. I think now it's just more important, just like just chilling, you know, for a little bit and then get back up.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing to do, especially since it's like the first week of this whole thing going on. Is like, all right, and the first, like, it's like the beginning of we don't know what. It's like good to take that self-care time and just like, yeah, especially for your family, to take that time too. All right, so I'm gonna open it up to like 10 minutes of Q&A. So if anyone has a question, just go on and unmute yourself. And yeah, we'll just like open it up to the floor. Hey y'all. Anyone got a question? Let's see. All right. Oh, wait. Oh, nice. Oh, okay. Let's see. I'm like still learning how to use this video thing. So supposedly you guys can raise your hands through the video call.
Raise your hand.
Yeah, it's like a freaking a classroom. Let's see. Okay. Oh, Todd. Okay. And then, hey, Todd.
Hey, thanks for doing this.
Yeah.
John, quick question for you. Like, how do you feel like, do you see like a difference in the energy of your work when you're working from home, like amongst the family, a lot of the people that you're using as subjects as well, versus like when you're up in Colombia, you know, in school? Like, do you feel a difference in the energy of your work, or you know, does it seem pretty similar?
Yeah, man. I feel like here it's a lot more laid back. You know, a lot more laid back. I feel like I'm working a lot more raw here too. You know, I feel like when I was in Colombia, I was thinking about like the proper ways to try to show things, and it was like me looking back. I mean, it's always cool to study yourself too. You know, as an artist, you know, like looking back and like looking at your old work and be like, damn, like I was doing this shit. You know, like that this could be hard on this. You know, so like I was seeing my older work was really raw. You know, I'm saying like, damn, like this is, yeah, it's a different type of energy, I think. But then again, at the end of the day, it's like sometimes when I'm up there, it's the same thing too, you know. So I try to keep it on both sides, but definitely, yeah, definitely at home it's a lot more. But yeah, thanks, bro.
Cool. Anyone else have a question for John? Oh, I see Cam is over here. Unmute. Hey, Cam.
Damn, what's up, my boy?
You got a question for John?
I can ask a question.
All right.
I don't know, bro. I know you a bit, so.
Huh?
I said I know you at least a little bit, so it's kind of hard.
About the process, about anything. Staying focused.
What would you tell yourself back when you just were getting started? What would you tell yourself that you know now?
Well, to myself, this is a long game. You know what I'm saying? This is a very long game. You'll be, like I said, you if you're lucky to even live long, you know what I'm saying? Like you definitely will be paying like 100 years old if you can. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, bro, like if you're really doing this because you're really doing this, it's like it's always gonna be there, you know. So like don't rush shit, you know. Like don't try to like tire yourself out sometime because it's not worth it. You know what I'm saying? Like you're really gonna be doing this for the rest of your life. So just take your time. And I think the more you take your time, like shit becomes a lot more like genuine too. You know what I'm saying? Like you're definitely a lot more you and stuff like that. So yeah, I think you just take your time, bro. Lay down the weed a little bit more. And yeah, just stay up, I think.
Nice. All right, so we have a question in the chat, in the little chat room from Paloma Vasquez, and they said, how do you deal with blocks? Like, I guess, like, artist blocks.
Artist block. I mean, I think it's just accepting that something happened. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, yeah, like there's artists who work a lot, but it's like, I feel like it's like every day, you know what I'm saying? It's a 50-50 chance that you're going to be good 100%. There's days you're not 100%, you know what I'm saying? So, like days you are 100%, like, truly take advantage of that, you know? Truly take advantage of that. And then days you're not, just be like, all right, I'm going to just don't give up, though, you know what I'm saying? Don't give up and just keep pushing, but not every day's going to be a good day, you know? So, but yeah, blocks do suck, but I mean, what I do, I just do a little bit of reading, you know what I'm saying? Like, I take time, I do a little bit of reading, I chill, and then it just comes back up again, you know what I'm saying?
Off of that question, so yeah, you're in Colombia now doing your MFA. Congrats, doing your thing. That's another thing. Like, are there any things like that you're reading or that you're looking into for school that are helping with your work and informing it?
I mean, keep it real with you, bro. Like, I feel like Colombia has definitely taught me to, like, really appreciate education, you know, knowledge, you know, like, not as in, like, but, like, just, learning is very powerful, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it's, like, I learned things in this, like, class. I was taking, like, Latinx history, you know what I'm saying? I'm taking, like, a class called Labor of Culture, you know, so, like, it's, like, learning this past and this history that I didn't know before about, like, where I come from, like, where my parents come from, like, the lines going down, like, you know, like, started researching that. And just, it's, like, it's definitely developed my work, you know. So I use that knowledge now into my work, you know. So it's, like, I feel like, that's the one thing, too, bro. Like, when I was in Colombia, like, I would get hella looks, too, you know, like, damn, like, who the hell's this? Like, I remember this one time, like you just walking out, I felt weird, like, I didn't belong here, you know what I'm saying? I didn't belong here because I'm not one to have, like, the best vocabulary, you know what I'm saying? Like, even in class sometimes I'd be slipping up, I might curse here and there, but it's like that's just the way, that's the person who I am, you know. But it's definitely like, nah, like, you could definitely be you, but if you know your shit, like, ain't nobody really gonna question, you know. So now, yeah, I think reading is really important, you know. Like, now I'm reading a lot because back then I never took my shit seriously, you know. Like, I wasn't the best student or stuff like that, but now it's like, nah, like, I'm on my shit.
Yeah, kind of like maintaining, like, yo, I'm valuable too. I'm
Yeah,
here, and what?
and it gives you kind of like a shield too, man. Like, nah, like, I know my shit, man. You're not gonna tell me, nah, I gotta know my shit. So it's kind of like a shield too. So definitely.
Yeah, it could be tough in like especially being in like an Ivy League school like Columbia, like, yeah, I could just imagine. I remember when I went to NYU, I was just like, freshman year, I was quiet. And I was one of those people that always raised their hand to answer a question, but I was quiet because I was like, damn, everyone here sounds so educated. They put their answers out so eloquently, and I'm over here like, But then after that, it was a process of like, nah, I'm here. This is me. And honestly, I put in way more effort than y'all. So
It definitely gives you the perspective of, like, yo, truly appreciating who you actually are. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is who I am. Like, I always say, I'm not gonna sugarcoat shit. You know, like, if I'm talking to you, like, I don't care your degree, like, your this and that, like, how much money you got. Like, I talk to you as a human being. So, like, I'm talking to you the way I talk to you, you know. So, like, it definitely, like, I mean, I can get smart too, you know what I'm saying? I can get smart, you know.
exactly.
But yeah, I just keep it me, you know. And definitely, like, nah, that's who I am. I'm here. I belong here. So, like, I think that's the main thing, just knowing you belong here, you know.
Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna read some of the questions that we have in the chat room, and then we could wrap it up. All right. So let's see. Okay, we got a long one from Duneska. Hey. All right. So she was like, I really appreciate how you explore the concept of home and would like to ask if you consider exploring the outside of space. For example, many people do not have a physical space that they consider home and instead find home in people, culture, practices. Do you address that? If so, how?
Yeah, that's one thing too. Like, I definitely want to start just going outside my home, like, painting people I see in the street, writing people, like, my colleagues at school, like, just learning different knowledge from their perspectives too, you know. So I'm gonna start this thing called Portrait a Day.
Mm.
Where it's like I have a small canvas and like I just choose one person, I paint their portrait and like ask questions, know about them, you know. So just getting this information, just studying that, you know, and how can I navigate into I think the next level of my work, you know. So I think starting with that portrait of a day is gonna be the answer to that.
Nice. Lit. And then let's see. DV says, do you feel a responsibility to talk about the state of the world today through your art? Immigration/migration has always been a part of your work, and border closings are the most surprising part of this crisis to me. So, yeah, I guess, do you feel a responsibility to talk about like bigger issues affecting the world today, specifically immigration and migration?
Yeah, of course. I definitely think that's where like my family's not the only family, you know what I'm saying? Like it's a lot of people's family. So it's like I mean first I gotta start with where I know my shit and then gradually move on, you know what I'm saying? So it's like at the end of the day I know like not a lot of people are from here, you know what I'm saying? So it's like I wanna start that's what I'm saying, like I'm gonna be doing this for the rest of my life, you know, like I can't be rushing this shit. So it's like little by little it's gonna be coming out more and more. I mean, I know it is, I truly believe myself it is, but it's like I'm just taking the baby steps. I mean, the process is the most beautiful thing, you know. And you don't want to just get caught up in product and product and product. So I think the process is more beautiful thing. So that, I think that, yeah, definitely in the future I'll be speaking, but it's definitely important now. A lot too.
Cool. And then two more questions, and then we're gonna wrap it up. So Bailey asks, what artists are you looking at now? And then another question is, how do you pick where to show your work?
I mean, the artist I'm looking at now, to be honest with you, I'm really fucking with what's his name? Henry Taylor. His work, I've been studying his work a lot. But then besides that, it's just like my peers, you know, my peers.
Exactly.
It's really important. It's really important because, like, yeah, we could be looking at these like older people moving up, you know, this and that. But it's like if you look, like I said, you always gotta look what's in front of you. You know what I'm saying? Like you always gotta look what's right in front of you. So yeah, my peers are definitely my inspiration. Regardless if you're not a painter, but just the ideas and stuff like that is really important. And with shows, I mean, like I said, it's cool to be showing and stuff like that, but for me, work has always been for me, you know what I'm saying? Like there's a while before that I had like mad pains, but I wasn't doing it for shows, you know what I'm saying? Like I was still in school, like, I was doing it for me. You know, I was doing, obviously we achieved for that, but it's like I feel like you really like just focus on that. Like I promise you, bro, like shit will come little by little by little by little, you know? It's like the way we met, like the way we met was like me, my homeboy put me on, you know what I'm saying? Like I know who you were, but like me and him been talking for a while. And he like liked me for my work, but he was nothing about a show. He was just my boy, you know what I'm saying? And that's how it works, you know. So like you really gotta focus on the work. That's it, little by little. And obviously like if it's a certain program or like a certain guy you like, then I think research is very important too, you know, like knowing where you start getting yourself into, because like I feel like regardless if someone is bigger than the other, but there's galleries that are meant for you, you know what I'm saying? They will work with you, you know, they're really meant for you. So it's like I feel like even with me, it's like I feel like all my relationships have been genuine, you know, it's like I could hit you up being like, yo, how you doing? You know, it's not just like, oh, like business, art. Like I could really have a conversation with you, you know, sit down and talk. So I think that's important too.
Yeah, I always like to say, like, you know how people say like, oh, build your network, but I'm like, fuck that. Build your community. Is a community.
Yeah, you gotta just and then you meet the genuine people. They put you on other people too, you know. So it's like,
Mhm.
I mean, I've been grateful. You know what I'm saying, I've been really grateful to been in a place where everyone I work with, it's not like, and it's not a network. You know what I'm saying? Like, these really my homies, these really my homegirls. So it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, just build that, and then after that, like, it goes a long way too. You know, it goes a long way too.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty, so we're gonna end on that note. Thank you, John. It's lit. Yeah, build your community. All
Yeah,
right.
and just keep it real, man.
Yep.
You go to these shows, just my man can, bro. You out.